I love Carden. Oh my gosh, tail and all. I love him. Come on, just like give me a little bit of a hint. Like, come on, just spill the beans. One bet or two. One bet or two. Like, Harvey, I am asking the same question. The main male character is like my favorite type of grumpy because he's not really an asshole. He's just kind of awkward and doesn't like people, so he just like doesn't know how to interact with them, and I love it. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is super fun, which is reading a page every time I pick up my phone. So this challenge was actually created by Sarah Caroli, I believe, and it's such a fun way to reduce phone usage and minimize screen time, which is a habit that I am definitely trying to implement in the new year. I feel like the title is pretty self-explanatory, but just to be clear, every time I picked up my phone, I'm going to be reading a page, and I will be using the stats from last week just so I have everything like day of. So according to my phone, last Monday, I picked up my phone 142 times. So today, Monday, January 20th, I will be reading 142 pages. So let's get into it. So we are going to be starting off this video reading The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is the third and final book of the Cruel Prince trilogy. Basically, the Cruel Prince trilogy follows Jude, who is a human girl, and she is living amongst the Fae people of Elfame. And in this world, humans are kind of looked down upon. They're like a second race, essentially. So she has had a lot of hardships in her life. She's an orphan girl. Her parents were killed, like literally right in front of her. So Miss Girl has been through it, but the series just like really follows along her journey, her character development, and also the political inner workings of Elfame. This book does have a romance subplot, specifically enemies to lovers, which I adore. I am such a fan of the enemies to lovers trope. However, I will say that the romance is very slow burn, and it's very much on the back burner. Like, I am literally on the third and final book, and I have no clue if the two main characters even like each other. Like, I think they do, but like, who knows at this point? So if that tells you anything, I don't know what will. Overall, I think I would recommend this series, but just keep in mind that it is a little bit more plot and political heavy rather than romance heavy. But I am 67 pages into this book, and I am absolutely loving it so far. I feel like I'm finally kind of getting into some of the action parts, and I'm just eating it up. The beginning was a lot. We learned a little bit more about Carden and his backstory and his childhood, and I kid you not, I was literally about to cry, and it was like the prologue. It wasn't even chapter 1. Carden is able to tell the difference between Jude and her twin sister Taryn. I love this man. I love Carden. Oh my gosh, tail and all. I love him. Not me literally almost crying when Jude is talking about Matic and like how their relationship as father and daughter has changed. Like, so sad. Oh my gosh. Even Holly Black can't escape the my wife scenes. I just eat it up every single time. I know I always say that The Cruel Prince has like little to no romance and it's just kind of like sprinkled, and that is true, but when the romance happens, it just eats. It's so good. Like, I don't know, I just like can't describe it. It just is so good, and every time it happens, I'm like stunned. I'm floored. So it is update time. Starting off day one, I was supposed to read 147 pages, and it's safe to say that I have successfully conquered that reading challenge because I am now on page 220, so I read a little bit over 147 pages. So far, I am just loving this book. I am absolutely devouring it. Out of the entire trilogy, this book definitely has the most romance, and that kind of is what I was expecting. Not to mention, there was this huge plot twist that I honestly did not see coming at all. There's only about 300 pages, so I'm really close to finishing it. And honestly, I might just go ahead and read the remaining 80 pages because I just want to know how they're going to resolve this conflict. But I probably shouldn't. I need to be productive. I have some editing to get done. I have some homework I need to work on. So I think we might be done reading for today, but I will see you guys tomorrow for the second day of this challenge. So it is the next day. It is Tuesday, January 21st, and my reading goal for today is 192 pages, so a little bit more than yesterday, but definitely doable. I'm hoping today is a success, just like yesterday, but I will be picking up where I left off on The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I'm about 220 pages in. There's about 300 pages total, so I have like roughly 80 pages left, and I'm not gonna lie, where I left off was such a huge cliffhanger. I have been dying to pick it back up. So yeah. This book is literally gonna make me cry. I'm on the verge of tears. I I just finished reading The Queen of Nothing, and oh my gosh, guys, I loved this book. My goal for today was about 197 pages, and I read 85. So I have roughly like 100 pages left in my reading goal today. This might be presumptuous of me to say this, but I think this was a 5-star read for me, which is crazy for me to say because even though I really liked the Cruel Prince trilogy, none of the other books were that high of a ranking. I think I rated the first book like 3 stars. I rated The Wicked King like 4 stars, and this one 5 stars. Just so good. I think it mainly has to do with the fact that the romance is definitely the heaviest in this book, which makes sense because it is a little bit more of a slow burn trope. And as a romance girly at heart, I obviously ate up all the romance and love declarations. So, not to mention the action that we get in this book is just like top notch. There was never a dull moment, and I just love Holly Black so much. I do have the novella that focuses on Cardan's perspective, and I literally cannot wait to open that up, but I don't think we're going to be reading that today just because I am trying to like stretch out how much Jude and Cardan content I have to consume. Even though I just finished reading this, I low-key want to go back and like annotate stuff because there are just some beautiful quotes and moments. But yeah, 5 stars. I feel like I can't talk about much just because this is the final book of the trilogy, so there are a little bit of spoilers, but overall, I just loved the world building and the politics of it all. I also loved Jude's character development. I feel like it was so amazing to see what she was at the start of the series to what she is now. And the ending, so cute. Like literally had me on the verge of like happy tears. I was just so happy. So moving on, I think I'm going to be picking up Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd book of the Chestnut Spring series. The Chestnut Spring series is a cowboy small town romance. It's an interconnected standalone series, so each book is about a different couple, so you really don't have to read them in order, but it is highly advised that you do. Powerless is about Sloane and Jasper, who are childhood friends. Sloane is a ballerina and she's this like rich cousin of the Eaton boys. Jasper is a hockey player, and even though he isn't related to the Eaton boys, he kind of is an honorary one. He has grown up with them and they took him in at a very young age, so he kind of has like a troubled past. I've actually already started Powerless. I'm about 34% in, and right away I'm already loving it. I recently finished Heartless, and I think it just like revived my love of this series. So that is what we're going to be reading next. So it is update time. I'm about 200 pages into Powerless. So I have about 60 more pages in my reading goal for today. I'm not gonna lie, but Powerless might be my favorite book out of the entire Chestnut Spring series. I absolutely love Jasper, and every time he opens up about what he's gone through and his past, I just feel for him so much. Like, these are fictional characters. I should not be this attached, but I am. As for the romance, it's very much slow burn. I feel like the book before this one, Heartless, was also pretty much slow burn, but not this bad. Like, they're childhood friends, and Sloane, the main female character, has had a crush on Jasper her entire life. However, there is some age gap, and then there's also the fact that they're kind of like family, like that's how close they are. So there's also that kind of boundary. Not to mention, Miss Girl literally is a runaway bride, and that is not a spoiler, that's literally on the back of the book. So before y'all come for me, don't worry, no spoilers here. So I understand why there is a bit of a slow burn and why it is taking this long for them to get together, but like, come on guys, you both like each other, just do it already. So I failed. It is the next day. Yesterday I had the reading goal of about 197 pages, and I did not complete that, unfortunately. I read about 135, so did fairly well, just didn't quite read everything I needed to read. I do think I'm going to add the remaining 62 pages onto today's reading goal, which according to my phone is only 5 pages. I don't know how I managed to only pick up my phone 5 times, but I did. I must have been very, very busy that day, or I was reading a lot, who knows, but I now have to read 67 pages today, which I think is very much doable. As for what I'm going to be reading, I think I'm just going to keep on trudging along with Powerless. I'm really enjoying it so far, even though the slow burn is very much getting on my nerve. I'm like, when are you guys going to get together? But hopefully it will be soon. Hopefully it's within the 67 pages that I have to read today, but yeah. I swear, Elsie Silver is so good at pacing a romance, specifically a slow burn, right when I was like, okay, when are they gonna get together? Because this is dragging on. That's when the romance hit. And thank God it did. It's like she could read my mind, even though this book existed way before I ever wanted to read it. But yeah, it's like she knows me. I don't know. I absolutely love Harvey. He is my favorite. He is probably my favorite character out of the entire Chestnut Spring series, just because he cracks me up to no end. He keeps texting Sloane and Jasper, and he's like, come on, just like give me a little bit of a hint, like, come on, just spill the beans. One bet or two. One bet or two. Like, Harvey, I am asking the same question. So it is update time. I just finished my reading goal for today, 67 pages. The 62 pages from yesterday, and then the 5 pages that I had to read today. I'm not gonna lie, going into Powerless today, I really did not have the motivation to read. I really did not want to pick up a book, but I just kind of made myself do it because I was like, oh, 60 something pages, that's not too bad. Like, get over it, you can do it. And I'm so glad I did, because now I'm such in a good spot of the book. When my 67 pages were done and finished, I was like, what? That's it? Like, I have to stop reading now? So I was a little bit nosy because I was just really feeling the story. I did peek ahead and look at tomorrow's reading goal, and it's only 10 pages, which is like nothing. Like, why would I film myself read only 10 pages? So I think I'm just gonna read those 10 pages today because I want to keep reading. I know I keep changing the rules for this challenge, but I really don't care. My channel, my rules. It might have only been 10 pages, but those 10 pages were worth it. So it is the next day. It is Friday. It is also the last day of this challenge. Today's reading goal is 153 pages, which I think is more than doable. Like, we are finishing this challenge no matter what it takes, okay? The last time we spoke, I was reading Powerless by Elsie Silver, the third book of the Chestnut Spring series, and I was absolutely devouring it. Like, I did not want to put it down, even though my reading goal was already finished and done. So I actually have good news on that end. I did finish Powerless, so we are starting a new book today, and that is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. So before I give you a brief synopsis on Forget Me Not, let's talk about Powerless. This book was a 3.5 for me, even though I really loved Jasper and Sloane. Like, Jasper's backstory and his character as a whole, I absolutely loved him. I did cry on numerous occasions while reading about his past. And Sloane, I absolutely loved her character development. I loved what a great friend she is for Jasper and how she's always there for him. However, because this book is childhood friends to lovers, I feel like the romance and the feelings were already there and developed and strong. It was just the fact that they didn't know each other liked each other, and I just like did not vibe with that. I really love the characters, and that's why I gave it such a high rating, but I feel like the romance part, because it's also slow burn, just didn't feel complete, or it didn't feel like enough for me personally. I am normally not a friends to lovers girly, so it does take a lot for me to enjoy it, but I have enjoyed it in the past. And I think the reason why I didn't enjoy Powerless as much as I thought I would or wanted to is because it really didn't have those flashback chapters, and I feel like if it had those, I would have felt a little bit more sustained in the developing the love, developing the friendship, because that was already developed. With that being said, I still loved the characters, I still loved the story, and I love Elsie Silver. I will be continuing the Chestnut Spring series, that is a fact, but some of the things in the book just didn't match up with my personal preferences as a reader, and that is totally okay. So the next book that we are starting, I already mentioned it, is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. This is a second chance romance between a wedding planner and a florist. Something happened, like, I don't even know how many years ago, while they were working on a job, and they no longer like each other. They do not affiliate with one another, and they were totally fine with never seeing each other again. That is until they are both hired for this like influencer wedding, and this is like a game-changing opportunity for the main female character. So even though she wants to say no, she ends up doing the wedding because it's what's best for her career. And yeah, so I've actually already started the book. I'm only 12% in, and I am really enjoying it so far. It is dual POV, and there are some flashback chapters, which I totally enjoy. I love a dual POV book, and I love when second chance romances have a then and now, because I need the lore. I need the backstory. Not to mention, this book is very much about weddings, and as you know, I am engaged. So I just love books that are about weddings because I am in the midst of my wedding planning. in A Second Chance Romance is unmatched. It's why I love them so much, because she has to set up an appointment with the florist who is her ex, and she has her friend do it instead, and he immediately knows it's her friend's voice. And he's like, put her on the phone. Like, just let me talk to her. Floored. $250,000 for a wedding? Crazy. I wish, Miss Girl. Jealous. I am actually jealous of these fictional characters. The main male character is like my favorite type of grumpy, because he's not really an asshole. He's just kind of awkward and doesn't like people, so he just like doesn't know how to interact with them, and I love it. Like, he is always constantly second guessing himself, being like, was that awkward? Was that weird? And I'm just living for it. As of right now, all of the chapters in Elliot, the main male character's point of view, are from the past, and I am like dying to know how he feels about the main female character, Emma, in the present. Like, I need to know. So it is update time. I have officially finished my reading goal for today. I was supposed to read 153 pages, and that is exactly what I did. I started reading Forget Me Not on page 35, and I read until about 188. So I'm about 58% through, and I am just loving it so far. I just love the second chance trope so much, and I love that we get Elliot, the main male character's point of view in the past. All the then chapters are in his point of view, and I think it's so interesting to see what he thought of the main female character, Emma, in the past, and then we get all the present day point of views in hers. I am really itching for a present day perspective of Elliot, just because I am dying to know what he is thinking about her. But yeah, I definitely see myself rating this very highly, just because I'm eating it up. Like, the minute I'm done filming this, I will probably pick up the book again, because I just love it so much. There's another book by Julie Soto that I've been dying to read, which is A Not So Love Song, I think is what it's called. And now that I know that I really like her and her writing style, I'm like, I need to pick that up, like, immediately. So it's safe to say that I will be reading a lot of Julie Soto in the future. So with that being said, I think I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you want more reading challenges like this, if you've read any of these books, what you thought about them. I would love to know. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I have a lot of fun things planned, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you really don't want to miss out, turn on post notifications. But yeah, I will see you next time. Goodbye.